Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode 2 of The Name is at the End. This is going to be a very special episode tonight, as we are recording this kind of on a whim, and I will be your host, Dustin, and who am I with?
You're with Eric.
And D-Nick.
So what's going on, fellas? Like, why are we doing this? I mean, I know we just recorded the first episode a couple hours ago, but what happened? What changed?
Well, we went to a bar, and that kind of sparked this whole thing. We kind of got back, and honestly, like, after the first episode, we kind of, like, introduced a lot of topics in the first episode, and then actually got to visit those topics while we were at the bar.
D-Nick is Trevor.
Yeah, I'm Trevor. We decided to change my name because, you know what, I don't like names, and names just happen to befall upon me.
You don't want to put a label on it.
Exactly.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm too indie for that.
He also doesn't want to put a ring on it.
No,
ladies,
because if I like it, I might put a ring on it, but there's a lot of things that I don't like, so I'm not gonna put a ring on it.
Yeah. No, but hey, second episode, like we were saying, something went down. And by something we mean we went out, had a couple beers at the bar. This bar called Yesterday's
in Sanford,
Sanford, North Carolina. A wonderful little hole-in-the-wall bar.
Shout out to Caitlin, awesome waitress.
Let's just get the whole thing up front here. Caitlin, you were an amazing waitress, adorable girl. She had a boyfriend, you know. It's unfortunate, but hey, totally respect that. But
still, totally an awesome person, though.
Yes.
Like, she took care of us. That's the thing.
She took care of us. You know, she only charged me for, you know, the beers that I drank, and then the beers that, I don't know, kind of just appeared or something. I don't know.
Yeah, those were mine.
But we don't want to go too deep into that because we don't want her to lose her job. But she did some really cool shit for us, and Caitlin, we really appreciate this. And just for you, just like I told you, we're talking about, because she asked me, you know, she was interested about the podcast. She was like, you guys really need to come back because you're really funny. Next weekend, we're going to try to make it out for 1. And 2, Caitlin, just for you, we're going to talk about Rich Kid Rehab in this second installment. So
right.
I actually just have one thing to say. Having a boyfriend, or a girlfriend for that matter, is not indicative of your quality as a person.
No, not at all.
No, but
I mean,
not.
come on.
you don't want
to say like, oh, she has a boyfriend, comma.
We're so sorry.
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm not. I wasn't being apologetic. I'm saying, you know, just out of respect for that, you know, because
What the wonderful institution of boyfriend girlfrienddom?
oh yeah, I mean it's a.
Is it even an institution?
I think they call it going steady. I think they call it going steady, but no, folks. So for tonight, it's only been a few hours after we've actually uploaded the top. Yeah.
A little bit of background noise. Never
Yeah.
hurt
Hey,
anybody, but-
so for the topics tonight, like we said, we just got back from the bar. You could probably kind of tell my voice is a little hoarse. So we did the shout out to Caitlin, and hey, we also got to do a shout out. A couple friends of, not a friend of mine, but friend of these two chuckleheads, Brennan Mills. Hey man, happy birthday, man!
You know, it's your special day once a year, and God love you for it.
Yeah, not only that, but like we know you're outside of the United States, and guess what, man? Like, just want to shout out to you.
I don't even know you, dude, but we respect the institution of birthdaydom.
Birthday, it's way more important than this
Than
whole boyfriend
girlfriend
and
and
girlfriend
boyfriend
business.
and-
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah, but hey, here's the agenda, and as you probably know, if you're a loyal fan from the first episode, like the first episode, and those of you that heard the episode 1 Redux, I'm pretty sure as we're recording this one, some of you guys are probably actually listening to that one. Here's the agenda, and just so you know that in between these things, we'll probably end up having a bunch of crazy segues, but this is what we're concentrating on for this episode 2 of The Name is at the End. We did the shout outs, but yesterday's bar, the name is Yesterday's, Sanford, North Carolina. We're gonna have a whole bar recap of what went down. It was loco.
It was a great time. I mean,
Honestly,
I'm really glad we went.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to go like that.
Yeah.
No.
And again, to kind of keep it chronological, just for Caitlin, we're going to go over Rich Kid Rehab because apparently Sanford's well known for Rich Kid Rehab.
Which I don't even get. Like, how does Sanford get the name for Rich Kid Rehab?
Don't know, but we'll go over
get
it.
into it.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's fine.
And then insects, not to be mistaken for incest, but insects, booze milkshakes, which we're
Awesome,
drinking
by the
right
way.
now.
Yeah.
And drinking in general, always something that, the more hardy, manly, hyper-masculine jobs require. You got to have some drinking in there.
It's near and dear to my heart.
Oh, yeah, because I'm not a quitter.
I'd like to think of our little crew as like the Mad Men of the 21st century.
Yes.
Like I'd like to wear a 3-piece suit and drink Jack Daniels at the
at
office.
a biker bar.
But no.
Oh, wait, that's what we were talking about the last
Yeah,
episode.
No, you don't wear a 3-piece suit to a biker bar. You just don't do that.
Yeah, they'll smash your fedora and shove it up your ass.
Or they'll
Or they'll just kill you.
roof and all.
Excuse me, sir, does this smell like chloroform?
I still haven't found anywhere to buy that
Yeah.
in the last 4 hours.
And wrapping it up,
And
because
we've been trying. That's the thing. We've been trying to find roofenol and chloroform and ether
Yeah.
for the past 4 hours, and it hasn't happened.
hey, in the and the last one we're gonna try to go over is tattoos. D-Nick and Trevor, D-Nick, and Dustin both have a fair amount of tattoos, but I myself don't. So I might be thinking about doing that.
I have 3 for the record, but plan on
Yeah.
getting.
Oh, as opposed to me has none. I may be getting several, and I'll probably go over my idea of my future career and how tattoos might come into play with that.
He's a ginger. They just absorb into his skin. He doesn't actually like hold ink very well. Sonic boom.
3 men, 1 podcast. You're listening to.
Oh, don't Don Lafayette this. Please don't.
It's Don LaFontaine, the late
or
great.
Don LaFontaine, whatever. He's dead.
You're-
That's the thing. He's dead. Get over it.
You're listening to.
Stop dwelling in the past, Eric.
The name is at the end.
Yes, the name's at the end.
The internet realized it had a little more room for one more fucking podcast. So hey, here we go.
Let's do this.
Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, the official second episode of The Name is at the End podcast variety show and general ramblings from 3 assholes about nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing important anyway. Because we're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about that hot new Miley Cyrus video.
And we're not talking
Which
about.
twerking is apparently a thing for Miley Cyrus.
And we're not going to talk about fucking Syria. I'm super serious about this. We're not fucking talking about Syria, so you can just fucking forget it. Fuck that.
Let's be
Stop
honest.
watching the goddamn news and listen to us, because guess what? Every day, people are dying all over the world, so whatever. It's the fucking punchline to the big cosmic joke that is life. We're not fucking talking about
And
that
if you
shit.
watch the news every day, I mean, it's just depressing. I mean, I'm a big public radio listener. You know, I listen to the local NPR station and the one out of Raleigh, and you know, a lot of times they have really nice, you know, kind of off topic. It's not what you're seeing on the big 3 news channels. It's not what you're seeing on cable news. It's, you know, local interest stories. You know, what the new, you know, Tony's Good Eggs.
Dave
know.
Chappelle in Connecticut.
Dave Chappelle in Connecticut, and they had a local
Improv.
local improv artist actually come on there and give her expert opinion
Expertise.
on
Oh,
what
man.
on the shortcomings of Dave Chappelle's
The
last
shortcomings of the
performance
guy that played
in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah, that
Right.
played in fucking Half Baked and made people laugh for about a decade straight. Oh, I'm sorry, little Susie. What do you have to say about the fact that he didn't want to fucking tell jokes to a bunch of drunk, angry white people?
You know, I mean, yeah, he kind of went off his rocker a little bit and moved to Africa and, like, you know, changed his name to Snoop
But I mean,
Lion.
so did Andy Kaufman.
Wait, no, that was Snoop Dogg who changed
Snoop
his
Dogg.
name.
I'm sorry.
No, Snoop
That's not
Lion.
Dave Chappelle.
Oh.
Let's get that straight.
For shizzle.
I'm not from around here.
Yeah, hey, if you haven't figured out by now, if you're a fan of geography and playing with maps and shoving globes up your ass, you probably figured out by now that we're located somewhere in North Kakalaki.
And I'm pretty sure that anybody who has a globe shoved up their ass has been to the hospital more than once. Richard Gere.
Richard Gere.
Yeah,
Too soon?
a globe filled with fucking hamsters.
Okay, so let's get into it. What do we do tonight, fellas?
All right, so we went to this bar near Sanford, North Carolina called
Yesterday's.
And this bar, let me tell you, we walked into a fucking a shit show.
It was pretty interesting to say the least. I mean, like I gotta say that from the get go, I was hoping that it would be far enough away from, you know, since we're in North Carolina, there's a lot of military people. Sanford, for one, is close enough to a military town that, you know, like I really don't like associating with
Army
those.
and Marines.
Yeah, exactly.
Worst of both worlds.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you're gonna find the assholes with, like, you know, fucking short cropped haircuts and, like, you know, tight affliction shirts and bullshit like that. You know, I mean, we saw those people there, but at the same time, like they weren't the majority that was there,
which was good.
which was nice. It was a good change.
And
of
those
pace.
are those of the
They were all pretty low key.
yeah,
Yeah,
and the
it
ones
was
that
good.
were, you know, what we, you know, we see as the military over here.
Try to avoid your not that they're bad people.
No.
They're not bad people at all. You know, God bless them for their service, but sometimes they're just a little too high strung for folks that just want to go out and, you know, have
a
some
good
beers.
time. And hey, by the way, we know that some of you guys out there that are listening to this are probably in some shithole fucking country like Afghanistan. So
Brennan Mills.
Brennan Mills. Hey, just so you guys know, I'll just go ahead and say it. You know, the three of us are in fact combat veterans. Whatever, it's cool, but we do support the fucking troops. So if we're talking shit about you guys, just remember, yeah, we've done it too. So fuck you.
Yeah, we love you. Just the way you approach women is fucking terrible.
Yeah, and we actually learned that tonight.
I just joined for the GI Bill.
I just joined for the college. Fuck you. Get out of the army. Anyway.
I'm an army of one.
Yeah,
One motherfucking guy with one motherfucking
Funny you
cock.
mentioned that. I actually, what's the date today? The 6th, 7th?
Today is now the 7th.
Is it the 7th?
It was the 7th.
We kind of promised each other we wouldn't talk too much about this, but I will say September 11th, 2006 is actually the day that I signed my dotted name on the name line.
Are you blind? Did you
I
put
thought
it
it
in
was
Braille?
an application to fucking Walmart, and I was like, "Holy shit! I'm putting on a uniform."
Well, you know, they asked me if I wanted to be in the army when I was working at McDonald's, and as I adjusted my name tag and my McDonald's hat, I said, "No, man, I couldn't ever take orders from anybody while wearing a uniform."
While you were chiefing a blunt, right?
While I was I had my disc golf backpack ready to go. No, but hey, so I'm, you know, fucking
Shit happens.
Hey,
Yeah, good on you, buddy.
Yeah, good on you.
All right, so
We'll get off that.
We go out. We go out to this bar, and you know, there's a sizable crowd. You know, there's a lot of good people. They're dancing. They're having a good time.
And there's a nice big table of chicks. That was the nice thing. Though.
and they were
it
of
was
all
amazing.
shapes, sizes, races: white, black, Latin, Asian. They were
Colombian,
There was a Colombian girl.
obviously,
all, and
'cause I
you know,
met
and the
her.
majority of them were gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and absolutely down to earth.
Really down to
You know,
earth.
if you're listening to our last episode,
We seem kind of assholish, but
misogynist.
misogynist, sexist.
maybe a little bit.
We do talk a lot of shit, but hey, just so you know, we really do try to be as gentlemen as possible. Before we started making this episode, we actually agreed upon not using certain words that would offend women, so that they would actually enjoy our show. So,
Caitlin.
what's
Hey,
that?
Caitlin,
Yeah.
how you doing,
Hey,
girl?
Caitlin.
Caitlin.
What's up, girl?
Hey, girl, what's your name is? What's your maiden name used to be? Oh, your boyfriend in the army? That's cool. Hey, just kidding. Hey, no, but we actually agreed that we wouldn't be using certain words as much as we could so as not to offend the female
And
audience.
you could probably guess them,
As-
so
as
there's
I
no
like
reason to
refer
say.
it as the fairer sex. We will not be
the
offending
fair
the fairer
sex. Yeah.
in this episode.
You know, and if we do have to say a word, we'll kind of be like, hey,
Diplomatic about it.
I don't really know how to say this without saying
This word.
You're being a cunt.
you're being a
Yeah.
cunt, and that's actually primarily the word that we
To put it
Oh.
bluntly, yeah.
actually that's specifically cunt is the word we are going to try not to use when describing
Anyone.
anyone actually.
So now that two of us have said it, the other one's got to say it, so it's over and done with, and the shock therapy is complete.
cunt.
Boom.
All right, moving on. So we went out to this place, had a great time. Trevor, you were sitting at the table with us and our buddy Derek, and shout out to Derek. Hey, he's a great guy. I haven't seen him in a couple of years.
He might be an installment into this show.
Yeah,
At
we're
least a guest speaker. I gotta
Yeah.
say that because he's a great
He's
guy.
super stoked about it. We took him home. He was listening to episode 1 on Dustin's iPod.
yeah. On the ride home, we had it on the iPod. Just trying to show it to as many people as possible.
He was a rolling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just thought it was absolutely hilarious, and so we're gonna have him at some point in the future. Whenever our schedules match up, and he's able to make it to our side of town, and so we're hanging out at the table, we're drinking beers, having a good time, laughing, telling jokes, just enjoying ourselves.
Singing Sinatra,
Singing
just
a little
what
bit
we
of
do
karaoke.
best.
D-Nick and I got up and we went to sing "Fly Me to the Moon" by Frank Sinatra, and
Which apparently was horrible according to Dustin and Derek.
Dustin thinks that we're horrible, but hey, you know what? Pretty much every girl, I looked around, and the majority of the women who actually looked like they were worth anything of their salt, they actually looked up and went, they're singing Sinatra.
It's all about that level of confidence. I mean, and we talked about that before. You know, you're never just gonna sit there drinking your beer with a sad face on and gonna be able to attract women. I mean, you're gonna have to at some point get off your duff and make a move. And
fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars.
And for those of you listening,
let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. All right.
And for those of you listening at home, that's what I had to deal with for, I don't know, what
a
was
good
the song
3
about,
minutes.
About 3 to 5 minutes long.
Yeah, but
the
you went outside and
girls
smoked, man.
Yeah, the girls actually came, and one girl put her arm around us.
The
and was
Colombian
dancing
chick?
with
Yeah,
us. This Colombian girl was great.
And that's the point that I was going to make is that, you put yourselves out there, and everybody in the bar, not just women, but, the men there too, not saying that they're into you or anything, but everybody enjoyed it. Everybody's there, they're having a good time, they're drinking, they're out with their friends, but what they enjoy is you out there, you may not be the best at what you're doing, but you're having a good time, and everybody appreciates that around you, and it makes everybody comfortable in that environment, so that it's not awkward or anything. And then from then you can go on, you can you say, hey girl, which Facebook is,
and it might not even be us in particular, the three of us. It might be other people. They realize, hey, there's some down to earth jackass with glasses and combed backwards hair and a Bob Ross t-shirt with happy trees.
Or some jack off in a Gene Roddenberry t-shirt.
Which, by the way, that's us. D-Nick's wearing a Gene Roddenberry shirt, and I'm wearing
Eric's in a Bob Ross t-shirt.
Yeah, and that says Happy Trees.
Yeah.
Which it was a toss-up between that and my other Bob Ross shirt that has a picture of Bob Ross with his perm and his shit-eating grin. God bless him, the late Bob Ross. And the other shirt that I have that I usually wear to the really raunchy bars is No Mistakes, Just Happy Accidents. And that is definitely in the bar scene a double
childbirth.
That's definitely a double, triple, or perhaps quadruple entendre when you're in a shitty dive bar.
I wouldn't classify this as a shitty dive bar. I mean,
not yesterday's. Yesterday's was a
no,
pretty
no,
classy place.
Yesterday was actually a pretty decent joint. I gotta say, At minimum, I'd rank it like as far as bars go. In my experience of bars, at least a 6.5 to 7, like a strong 7.
Outside in the smoking area, because of the reclaimed water leak outside, it smelled like a fucking dirty carnival. But
right, and not to mention
that's
that horrible person we met outside of the bar. In the back as well. But we'll get to her later.
We'll get to her
later
because she actually meets one of the archetypes categories we talked about in the first episode.
Yeah, but the point I was originally going to make was that we're sitting around drinking beer, having fun, and Trev, he just he sees this girl out on the dance floor, and we're like, oh man, I would totally go dance. And before I can finish a sentence, he's up out of his chair on the dance floor having a great time.
Hey,
dance with the Colombian chick. Why not?
Dance and just gal from Colombia.
Hey.
And like I said, like with the first episode, like no reservations. I didn't plan on sleeping with this chick. I had no expectations whatsoever. Like she was really fucking hammered. Like and that's fine. She's having a good time. Yeah, ladies.
Hammered.
But the thing is that, she was having a good time, and apparently she was actually trying to burn off the alcohol she had been drinking with her 3 apple martinis, which I don't believe at all.
Apple-teenies. She had many martinis, my friend.
Yeah, martinis.
Many martinis.
Yeah.
Her eyes kept going straight up to the ceiling.
As the night concluded, which that's kind of like wrapping up my section with the Colombian chick, though, like, I walked her out to her car and was like, trying to talk to her and like engage in her and like basically just let her know like, hey, I want you to get home safe. She lived about half a mile away from the bar, but we had a good time. I put myself out there, like it was no big deal. Like we had a good time, and that was a nice thing about this bar.
And then she drove off with her left turn signal on.
Oh God.
Well,
good thing her house wasn't very far down
exactly.
the road.
Well, but there's I mean, just like with any adult, once you're
make
18,
adult choices.
you make adult choices and you have adult consequences.
Trust me, I've lived with those.
Ladies.
No mistakes, just happy accidents.
In summation, with that whole portion, she at least called me and let me know that she like made it home safe and she was in bed and like she was fine. And that's really what the whole night, like for me at least, that's a good night. I met somebody cool. She's from out of town. We danced. We had a great time.
Yeah.
She made it home safe, and that's all that matters. Like, if she calls me tomorrow, she calls me tomorrow. If she doesn't call me tomorrow, so what? At least I had a good time tonight.
Yep. Yep. And you know what? I don't want to make it sound like we live the YOLO lifestyle, but honestly, in our line of work, you gotta take them when you can. But,
Hey, man, it's hard at Home Depot, buddy.
yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, we're all three single dudes. Like, I mean, you know, if we meet a really cool chick, like we meet a really cool chick. If it goes beyond that evening's interactions, you know, that's merely just a bonus. But other than that, man, like, you know,
and guys like us, you know, we really actually look forward to that kind of stuff every now and then. We say we don't, but you know, that's actually it feels good because we're not always around, and when we are home, sometimes we'll get caught up in the bullshit.
Or we have, you know, we have adult shit to do. That's the thing, though. Like, you know, we all have responsibilities.
Yeah.
We all have bills to play. We all have like, you know, our own shit that we got to worry about. So when we all
Bills
go
to
out
play?
together, yeah,
Bills.
Sorry, we all have bills to pay. But when we all get together and go out, like, you know, we want to have a good time, and we do have a good time, and that's what's important.
Meeting really cool chicks, you know, is a good escape for us. You know, I think we're trying to sell ourselves on this show.
Ladies.
Taking applications on our
drmascaro at
Facebook page.
gmail.com.
The name is at the end at gmail.com.
The name is at the end at gmail.com. That's that funny, actually. I started off the song. I was you know, like I promised in the first episode I'd be doing more of my voices, but
But we had a 16-bar interlude, and that's when you plug the fucking podcast.
yeah, we had a 16-bar interlude where I went, "That's right, you've been listening to Trevor and Eric singing, you know, Frank Sinatra's Fly Me to the Moon. If you haven't heard us before, we do birthdays, bar mitzvahs, and all that other good shite. Check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/the
And if
name.
you fancy a shag, my short little troll friend here, Dustin Mascaro, is... Oh,
Yeah.
wait, he's outside smoking.
Oh, I didn't say that.
I
It was funny
quickly
because
ran away.
it was funny because like early before that when we were singing, some guy wearing fucking all leather like Birkenstocks walked in front of the words to the song, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, get the fuck out of the way!"
Was that kid in the Rocco's Modern Life t-shirt?
No.
Oh, man, he was awesome.
He actually, yeah, there was
Yeah, with what, his fucking sandals?
he had sandals.
He had on like riverine, you know, keen, you know, Velcro sandals
with cargo
like,
fucking
you know,
pants.
Not flip flops. Like, this dude was ready to like run a
he
bitch
looked
down
like
with his sandals.
He looked
on.
like he had he looked like a synthetic fucking Roman hoplite with this fucking Jesus shit on.
I mean, either that or he was in, you know, that Kevin Bacon movie from the 90s.
Tremors,
No, not Tremors.
Oh,
the
Wild
river?
Things or whatever.
Hollow Man.
River? Whitewater? This is like a movie about whitewater rafting.
Oh, and
River
Phoenix is in it.
I have no idea.
Maybe. You don't remember that?
No, not at all.
Where Kevin Bacon gets fucking smoked at the end?
No, I only remember Wild Things where the two chicks make out in the pool.
I don't think that was Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon was in that movie.
What?
Yeah, he
With Denise Richards?
Yeah.
I'm talking about Cruel Intentions.
No.
That's what was it? Basic Instinct?
Cruel Intestines.
All right, we're getting way off topic right
Hey,
now.
we're supposed to
Okay.
be on topic here. Elizabeth Shue and
Anyway,
Leaving
Basic
Las
Instinct,
Vegas.
Michelle Pfeiffer,
If I as an outside observer had to recap the night, because I wasn't out dancing, I wasn't singing, I was just, you know, sitting down at the table, like
Yelling.
I said, yelling at people. Like
By the
I said
way,
I
it was
wasn't gonna do.
that kind of bar. Yeah. Hey, my name's Dave.
Yeah, you know.
buy you a drink?
What do you mean I stink? I just got here.
The only criticism I would have of the place is that, I mean, the music is just so god awfully loud. Like,
Oppressive.
I mean,
That's
if
the
you
word we're looking
listen
for.
to the last episode and then you listen to this one, you know, this is what 6 hours difference.
And you can actually hear probably our voices are fucked.
You know, and I feel like I just got done smoking a whole pack of cigarettes over here, but it was actually just me 2 feet away from my friends
An old
screaming
war, buddy.
across the table. And
If I was your age, I would at least say that, you know, when I'm done at a bar, it's not like I smoke like 3 packs of cigarettes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, back in my day, I didn't take a fucking backpack trip across Europe doing disc golf. I marched across it killing fucking Nazis.
I was in Normandy smoking weed.
What?
Wait, isn't that Vietnam?
Yeah, wait,
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
my bad.
wrong war.
Taking shotgun bong blasts from a fucking shotgun.
Yeah.
like in
I was
Platoon.
with Elias.
Grandpa's got the old timers disease, you know. I mean, he doesn't remember things so good
Hey,
anymore.
fuck you! I was killing Nazis in Pearl Harbor.
My balls are hanging out of the bottom of my pants.
Granddad,
I
you were
think
born
I-
in '53.
I think I sat in some gum. Gooks in the perimeter. Grandpa, no, fuck.
Hey, we're at Hastings, man. Calm down.
Man, you want to Hastings?
Anyways,
Overall, it was
That was a
great
lot
night.
of different references. If you
Yeah.
guys can,
All right, but also like to go through the rest of the night, like we got to bring up Laurie.
Oh yeah.
Laurie,
So
not Lori, not Lauren.
So we meet this
Laurie.
girl, and you know what, bitch? Sorry, I called you a bitch, but that's all. She really was a bitch. But I'm gonna fucking tell people your name. And
Hold on. Let me preface this with like the whole interaction that transpired though, because
D-Nick met her and her friends first.
Right. Okay. So her I guess significant other, this guy Eric with a K, needed a lighter, and I saw this from a distance, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm a nice guy. I got a lighter in my
He's just
pocket.
gonna be a nice guy.
I'm outside smoking and drinking, whatever. So I walk over and I hand the dude my lighter, and I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Like, I'm Trevor. Nice to meet you. He's like, I'm Eric. I'm like, cool, man. What's going on?
I'm
He's like,
assuming
have a
he
seat.
told you to take a seat.
Yeah. So I sat down and I'm talking to Eric with a K, because Eric with a C is sitting right here. Ladies. And anyways, he's like, this is my significant other, Laurie, and they're both military, and we start chatting about like what it is that they do and shit like that. And Laurie makes it a point to correct me about her name, and I'm like, okay, it's not Laurie with an O-R-I-E, it's Laurie with an L-A-U-R-I-E. Like, okay, one, if you have to like intentionally change how someone pronounces your name to suit how it's actually spelt, like phonetically, one, you are so self-absorbed that like I don't even want to talk to you. So immediately I'm
You're
like,
extras cast for fucking Portlandia.
yeah, exactly. Like I have no reason to listen to you. Like I'm shutting you out as you're explaining this to me. Anyways, this bald dude with a beard. All right, hold on. My buddy Dustin got something to say.
He's got the spirit stick.
I don't know if I told you guys the name of my newest child. Her name is Haley, and it's spelled A-P-P-L-E. Yeah, it's actually Hebrew. So yeah,
And
no,
it's spelled backwards.
It looks like apple, but no, her name's Haley. So why don't you just get off your high horse, buddy, and say it like it's supposed to be said?
Like
all right?
like when I have my daughter and I'm gonna name her Cloud, but it's H-A-I-L-E-Y. but it's pronounced Cloud.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's-
And I'm not gonna have kids because I'm asexual.
Hey,
And you're a
Rose,
ginger, which means you're sterile anyways.
Did you go to judge school?
I don't have my judging hat on, but I have my certificate signed
Well-
and submitted to the Hall of Judges.
Make sure that the Hall of Judges faxes that over to Johnson and gives a copy to me.
Not Virgil Johnson.
Not Virgil Johnson.
Virgil Vonson.
Virgil Johnson. We don't want to offend anybody.
Okay, like I said.
Oh shit.
Like
So anyway,
I
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Virgil, we love you, man.
But anyways, like if you have to like phonetically explain your name to me, like one, I don't care. I really don't. It's like
At all.
You're
Period.
Laurie, whether I have a drunken slur or not, you're Laurie. Like,
Having hipster names is over.
exactly. And
Shell art is over.
anyways, but the dude that was sitting there was this guy named Shannon, which I'm totally cool with the dude having a chick's name, whatever, man. Like he had a fucking full beard, looked like a Viking, bald dude.
He was a biker.
Yeah, he was a biker.
And he looked like,
And
he reminded me of my dad, like
Yeah,
who I
and-
fucking hate, but
Whatever, but he wrote a fat boy. Like the guy was like cool as shit.
Yeah,
he wanted to know what we do,
he had
and
a
I started
keep calm
explaining it to
chive
him.
on shirt. you
Yeah,
know.
he had his chive on shirt.
Totally cool, man.
Yeah, totally cool guy. But like I'm explaining what I'm doing and what my job is, which I won't get into because it's not really important. But apparently, like, and this is where Eric comes in. He heard Laurie.
Oh well,
that's what I'm
no.
gonna
Okay,
call
so
to.
here's what happens. We just happened to be separated by the window of the building, and they were sitting outside of the patio, but the tables were essentially next to each other with the window separating it. So I was like, hey, what's he doing over there? I'm going to go outside. I'm going to check it out. So I sit down. He's like, hey, man, pull up a chair. This guy's name is also Eric with a K. I'm Eric with a C. And I sit down, and I'm being an intentional asshole just to be kind of a smart ass to break the ice because, whatever. And, the girl's boyfriend was totally into it. He was like, ha ha ha, real funny, joking back with me, no big deal. The older guy was joking back, no big deal. But Laurie had to make it a point to be, how do you say it without being an asshole?
The man hater
Not nice.
Yeah, the B word or the C word.
or the C
We're
word.
gonna we burned ourselves out on that.
Well, let's see you next Tuesday, whatever.
yeah,
Kesher.
ladies. she was just being really fucking mean.
But see, she was falling into that category of women that
They go out of their way to assume that I immediately want to have sex with you. No. First of all, you have a horrible attitude upon first meeting, which means absolutely not.
Which had she been reading my body language, I wanted nothing to do with this chick.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
and hey, you know what? Girls that are so self-absorbed that may or may not be listening to this podcast, just so you know,
dudes are like
we are
keen on that
just
shit.
yeah, we are just as selective and keen on that kind of bull crap as far as finding a potential mate. And you know what? Honestly, aside from that little Lana Turner wolf gentleman comment I made before, I do agree with what Deenix said in the last episode. We are just as selective, and sometimes we really don't want to talk to you because we want to have sex with you.
Yeah, or
We
avoid
just want to
it at all
interact and have
costs.
a
It's
good
like,
time.
listen, like,
I'm being 100% honest. We
Yeah.
don't always want to sleep with you.
we really don't.
We really fucking don't.
Really don't.
Because sometimes, her as an example, it just takes too much fucking effort just to deal with a chick who's just a complete asshole.
Or like the Colombian chick, like that's why I didn't want to sleep with her. It's like she was completely wasted out of her mind.
Yeah.
Like in my mind, that's the wrong thing to do because in the first place, she's completely wasted. If she wasn't in the right state of mind and her and I ended up sleeping together and we like spent the night together, if she woke up next to me and then like the following morning, like
It would have been really awkward.
It would have been super awkward. Like I don't want to deal with that. Like
Totes awkward.
We may move on from this once we finish our lowered expectations video here. I don't
Oh,
know.
God.
I mean, surely something else happened.
well, something else did happen.
Yeah.
I had a great time.
So,
Dustin,
I didn't talk. I
Dustin
didn't talk
always,
to the only woman that I talked to the entire night was a waitress. And
Caitlin.
Caitlin, hey girl.
What's
what
up?
up, Caitlin?
Shout out again.
And she was
adorable
super
little
cool.
girl. Adorable.
Super cool.
And she was cool enough that
And Ashley, I'm sorry, but Caitlin, if you know Ashley, I know she just got back on the market, but all the dudes out there, if you are in North Carolina and you go to Yesterday's and you meet Ashley, Ashley's super cool. Just got to say that.
hey, just another shout out to Caitlin to kind of wrap up that horrible thing. Trevor is explaining his job to Shannon because Shannon, the older fella, he's legitimately interested, and Eric
he
with
wants
a
to know
K,
what we do.
He's legitimately interested. Found out that I was in a place recently where Eric with a K and Larry was, and we were talking about it, and Larry just wasn't having it. And as I was talking to her significant other, Eric with a K, I happened to clearly, overtly hear Lori just talking horribly about D-Nick, who's a really good friend of mine. So, you know, Dustin comes out and he's like, hey, we got to pay. We got to get out of here. So we got to wrap it up. You know, I prod D-Nick on the side and say, hey, man, we got to go pay. And that's when after Lori gets done being a complete bitch to us, you know, we give our parting ways. I, shake, Eric with a K's hand and, hey, man, it was good meeting you. I legitimately meant it. But after listening to this girl basically talk a bunch of shit about a good friend of mine, for about a minute straight, D-Nick, who didn't hear, goes to shake her hand and, oh, it was good meeting you. And then she goes to say it to me and I go, no, I actually just heard everything you fucking said for the last minute. No, goodbye.
So you guys gonna go purse shopping later this week? Is that like your thing now? You and Lowry?
Yeah, because we're totally friends now after she just made fun of a friend of
No,
mine.
bro, you're frenemies.
Yeah, because she just made
That's
fun
a
of a
thing.
guy that I've been to really shitty, horrible places with when she's probably never even left the country.
Like Walmart.
Like Walmart or maybe
Ugh.
Afghanistan, one of the two. Hey, but
I
hey,
don't touch stuff.
yeah, I don't touch stuff. Fish fucking it, ladies, ladies. But no. So we get out of that conversation and we recap on our Frank Sinatra singing, and I start going into my Christopher Walken and my Gilbert Godfrey impression. And right now I can't do it because my voice is it's pretty bad. But
You're pretty hoarse. But let's wrap this up because I mean, like with the whole Yesterday's thing, like we've kind of covered. Like let's
We agreed not to make this thing like 3 hours long.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Let's keep this down to at least an hour,
Maybe an hour and a
at
half,
most.
yeah.
At least, an hour at
But
most.
long story short, we had a great time. We went to pay, cash out, close the bill. Okay.
All right. So yeah, let's move
So
on.
I paid
Let's-
the bill. I paid the bill, and Caitlin actually said, I'm gonna look you guys up on Facebook. He wrote down on the back of the receipts our podcast website, facebook.com.
And if she becomes an avid listener, we hope she plugs this to the rest of her friends.
Oh,
'cause,
absolutely, because
we will be coming back to
Yeah.
yesterday's. We will be coming back to see her.
And we are
she's a great
single.
person.
on the market.
Oh, you don't need to plug
Ladies.
that, man. But
I like long walks on the beach and
Eric, you're a ginger. You got to tone it down a little bit.
I can't tone it down.
Your
It's my skin color.
expectations need to be lowered. But let's move on. Let's go to Rich Kid Rehab.
Yeah,
Rich Kid
Caitlin
Rehab
asked
in
us-
Sanford. Like why is that even a thing?
Caitlin asked us what the podcast was about, and I just kind of rambled on. I said, hey, one of the things that we were going to talk about last episode but didn't talk about was Rich Kid Rehab, and her eyes lit up, and she said, Sanford's known for that. Apparently, Rich Kid Rehab is a thing in Sanford, North Carolina.
I don't understand that, but when I hear Rich Kid Rehab, automatically I think of the Mickey Mouse Club and all the whores they've created. Like no offense to like women out there, but like Britney
I don't know how
Spears,
you
Christina
cannot offend.
Aguilera, like the Mickey Mouse Club
Miley
for whatever
Cyrus.
reason Miley Cyrus has created whores. Like they are on the like downward spiral, flushing
One of
their
them
lives
has
down
a
the
damn
toilet.
sex
Like
tape.
yeah, one of them has a sex tape. The other
Who has
one's
a
making
sex tape?
twerk videos.
Britney
Like
Spears.
I don't
No.
understand it at all. Like
Yeah.
how does that happen? But
Look, man. Look, I'm from a suburban
He's
area.
interjecting.
I am interjecting because I'm from a suburban area. I went to a private school for a number of years.
As did I.
And I can absolutely attest to how hard it is whenever you're finally a sophomore in high school or a junior in some cases.
And you're having all these mixed feelings because your balls are dropping.
Yeah, and you really don't know what's going on, and all you wanted for your birthday was
A big bag of yayo.
I was gonna say a Mercedes.
Okay.
And your parents they get you a goddamn Lexus. I mean, how can any
And it's the wrong
reasonable-
color, and they totally fuck it up. And the only thing you can think of is to scream at your parents on how fucked up they are.
How could any reasonable human being expect a $50,000 car when you are worth so much more than that?
Exactly. Right. Because I had that because I'm a product of public school. I'm a product of public education in Southern California, no less. Like we were talking about the idiots like manifest destiny. Like I am the bottom feeder's like interbreeding result. Like if if all the idiots migrated to the West Coast and had sex with each other, I am that child.
Well, that explains a lot, buddy.
It does explain a lot, and that's the sad part about it. But like all these privileged children who are like, oh, I got a drug problem and I gotta go to rehab. Like really, like having a drug problem is like every high schooler's fucking fantasy. Like how many of us can afford that?
But that obviously doesn't include those people that have horrible home lives. Regardless of how much money their families have or how much access to luxury
Drugs or whatever.
little luxury items in any aspect, be it the hot new video game system or
a $50,000 car.
yeah, I mean, some people legitimately have addiction issues,
Right.
And we touched on that, not in the last episode, but in a previous conversation we'd had. And there's some folks that, if you have a problem, by all means, please go get help. But what we're talking about is the kids that say, my history class is a little too hard because I have to memorize locations in Eastern Europe. Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
Honey Boo Boo's probably not even going to get that far.
Oh, let's please
Oh,
let
God.
us not bring up. Honey
We're
Boo
talking
Boo.
about Rich Kid Rehab,
Yeah,
buddy.
'cause-
She's going to be a rich kid.
No. We're gonna save Honey Boo Boo for a completely different segment because let me tell you, like she is exactly like everything. She is the iconic reason of what is wrong with American
And why
society.
Rich Kid Rehab should be a bigger thing.
Well, I at least want her to be famous enough to where I can see her downward spiral as a human being, so I can watch her fall off the face of the planet.
Behind the music.
Yeah.
She wasn't
Yeah.
even a musician.
Behind, toddlers with tiaras.
Like I want to see that happen. Like
Real
20 years down
Hollywood
the line,
on
like
E.
the E Hollywood true story of Honey Boo Boo, like
Talk
30 years
soup.
from now, like
Talk soup. Is that even a thing?
Yeah, it's not around anymore.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
gonna be a
dating
replay of
myself.
Anna Nicole Smith. Like
Ladies.
Honey Boo is gonna get all like skinny and hot, and she's gonna marry some billionaire, and then she's gonna like OD on something, and then I'm not gonna feel anything whatsoever because she was a waste of human life.
So some of these
Lord,
kids,
she's a kid.
some of these kids, and by kids I mean
Slap her mom.
teenagers, into middle school through high school, even some of you, into college in your early 20s, depending on, how dependent on you are on your parents. You got a hard time studying, you can't focus, so they give you a pill for that. Well, those pills they're giving you, as we all well know, are speed, because a lot of folks take them recreationally.
Adderall.
Yeah, Adderall's one of them. Ritalin's another one. There's any number of brands that it's just legalized methamphetamines that make you hyper-focused on whatever's in front of you at the moment.
Faces of Meth. Look it up.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've all seen that. People that are in their 20s, and then by the time they're 25, they're missing all their teeth and look like they're about 70.
They make concentration camp survivors look like a walk in the park. And I'm not
we're
even
not,
being an asshole.
Those are the people.
Seriously, it's bad.
Those are the folks that we're talking about who have an actual problem with addiction. We're not focused on them. They have problems. We all will agree and admit to that.
We're talking about the pretentious little shithead who basically his parents washed their hands of him faster than fucking Pontius Pilate with Jesus. And like, you know what? I'm going to let someone else take care of this bullshit that I actually inadvertently helped create.
Look, my secretary ain't going to bang herself. I don't have time to deal with this little shit
Exactly.
kid.
In boarding school will do so much for my kids' anxiety attacks. Like, the only thing I can think of is, like, the Asian kid who got a B in, like, fucking English class, and it's like, I missed one assignment.
Yeah,
like,
I'm
instead of split my wrist with my Bluetooth and my smartphone. I don't, like,
he's
really?
going to rub his violin strings against his arm long enough to where his arteries burst.
Yeah, whatever. But,
Mr. Smith down the street's like, oh, my boys doesn't have the discipline that I should have been the one teaching him this whole time.
I'm going to send him to the next Yo-Yo Ma. Like,
I'm going to
send
him
fine,
to military school. Oh, great. So you're going to let some fucking dickhead who let the military define who he is for the rest of his fucking life, who he becomes the cadet commandant with his beer gut and all of his medals he earned in Desert Storm. He's going to become the fucking kid's mentor, and you're going to basically warp this kid's brain. It's not like it's the Spartan lifestyle where he's actually learning how to be a warrior or, discipline that's, applicable to the real world. No, it's going to be make your bed and do this and do that.
I better be able to bounce a quarter off your sheets, otherwise you're going to come blow me in the fucking, CQ office. Like, nobody gives a shit about that. Like, the thing
and do your math homework all in between.
Yeah, but with the rich kids and like rich kid rehab, it's like, all right, I got it. Like, people haven't a lot of people have legitimate addiction problems.
Yes.
The rich kid rehab though is like something that is so foreign to me because I haven't experienced it personally. But like the concept of it is just mind boggling. It's like, all right, you come from an affluent and wealthy family. And really what it is that like you can't deal with normal society because you haven't been brought up in it. And your parents don't want to deal with you, so they send you somewhere where they can fucking apparently help you.
Yeah.
And they hire someone who has a piece of paper that says they know more about dealing with children than your parents do. Like, all right, I got it. Like that's apparently what has to happen. But in real life, it's like, if your parents were actually parents, as far as rich kid rehab is concerned, they would have at least sent you to someone who has some real life experience, not somebody who went to college for, some developmental therapy or some other crazy shit like that. It's like they wouldn't send you to rehab. They'd have you talk to somebody who's been in the real world. That's the thing, though. Like,
experience.
Yeah, world experience. Like, and let me tell you from like a personal experience. Like, I've actually like talked to people who are supposed to be experts on behavioral health and all the other stuff. Like, I've been through some crazy shit in my life, and first and foremost, like most of them don't even know how to deal with higher level thinking people. Like if you're someone who's relatively smart, or at least considers yourself relatively smart, like you're a proactive person. You're self-aware. You're completely, engaged in what it is for your own individual self. Like, what's happening around you, what's happening inside, you identify the problems, you see the cracks in your own personality, you want to fix them. Like, that's something that has to happen.
You're a good, well-rounded person.
Yeah,
you just have chaos in your mind a little bit.
And the word that describes that is astute. You're an astute person. If you're an astute person, you understand, what needs to happen.
You observe and draw conclusions and judgments and weighing in on things around you.
And formulate intelligent opinions about shit.
You're not just ambling through life.
Right, but your parents don't understand it because for them, like, you know, having a child was completely like a second thought.
Or
like,
a complete mistake.
Or a complete mistake. But that's rich kid rehab.
Ladies.
That's why it's so fucking crazy. It's like
No
a rich,
mistakes.
yeah,
just
the rich
happy
kid
accidents.
rehab thing like really just blows my mind. Like, why would you send your child to rehab?
And rather than do your duties as a parent, like
By
you were
Right,
saying.
beating their fucking ass.
Well, granted, I got my fair
Put
share.
that goddamn joint down and get downstairs, you little shit.
I'm gonna spank the shit out of you if you don't clean your room. Like, that's what I
You
grew
can't
up.
Look,
talk to me
look.
like that. I'm 16 years.
Boom!
You know, I mean, you know, growing up, my parents were pretty strict with discipline to a certain degree and to a certain age.
Yeah, so were mine.
You know, I used
My
to
dad
be
was a dick.
I used to be a huge fuck up, and you know, one time I did something, I don't know, I shit on the fucking front lawn. I don't know what I did, but so my mom is
down the
my
roof.
mom is you know
I did that when I was like in my 20s, but
my
whatever.
mom's like half my size, right? Like she's not a big lady. I'm no giant myself.
He's a little bit of a... He's a little vertically challenged himself.
Yeah, vertically challenged is what we like to say. And so, you know, one time she, you know, she comes home and she's yelling at me and whatever. She's going to give me a spanking, which I am completely for. And I, you know, I knew in the back of my mind.
D-Nick just made a face, too.
I was
Yeah.
at the age where I
Now spank me.
no, oh
This is like
jeez.
the shit out of Exit to Eden.
Jesus Christ, you fucking weirdos. No. Hey,
His dad
fucking-
spanks him, and then he
hey,
goes, "Now do me."
Hey, Freud called and he wants his fucking perversions back.
I got a question.
Notice
Can I
where our
finish?
mind went.
How many Freudians does it take to change a light bulb?
I don't know how many.
2. One to screw in the light bulb, the other one to hold the penis.
So I knew that I was in trouble and my mom was about to beat my ass, and
Get out there and find you a switch.
but I was okay with it because by this point in life I was bigger than my mom and I was a lot stronger than her, and you know, I thought I was a real tough son of
But
a
there's
bitch.
just one problem.
My mom was so fucking mad that whenever she swung, she completely missed my ass and hit me across the back of the legs. Now, I don't know if you guys have ever been swatted across the back of the leg,
Whap!
but there is nothing on earth that will bring you to your knees faster than that. I don't care how strong you are. That's why the cops always go for the back of the legs.
Yeah, I think I remember him telling me his mom said something along the lines of "Stop resisting," and
Yeah, she
down
said-
he went.
She should stop resisting it.
non-compliant.
He's
Stop resisting.
You know, she called for backup and pulled out a taser, and I was like, holy shit, I'll never do this again. As I'm jerking on the ground.
Don't
you know,
tase me, Mom.
Fucking pissing my own pants.
I wish I could play like, you know, the fucking theme from Cops right now because it's pretty much what goes down.
Bad boys,
What you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
That didn't
when
hurt.
Sheriff John Brown come for you.
The worst words that as you can make as a child ever to come out of your mouth is "that didn't hurt."
Oh,
Because
boy.
you know what, that parent or that authority figure in your life is bigger than you. They're fucking stronger than you, and if they're not, they're goddamn smarter than you.
and
Well,
there's
hold on. Before we get into that, like the whole like that didn't hurt thing. Like, let me tell you, my all right, I'm half Mexican. Like, my grandmother is militant Catholic and full blown Mexican. There's
okay,
one-
mijo, that didn't hurt.
there-
Well,
there-
guess
yeah,
what?
mira,
Okay, man.
Your
Yeah.
mom
Okay,
came
man.
out of my hoo-hoo,
Culo.
and you came out of her hoo-hoo.
Listen,
I am
culo,
connected to
listen,
you,
culo.
mijo.
All right, man. If there's one thing you do not do is you disrespect your abuela. Let me tell you, man.
You don't
she
do
will-
that.
She will get
Man,
a fly
you know who I
swatter
wish
and
was
she
here
will
right
beat
now?
the living shit out of you.
You know who I wish was here right now?
When your abuela says come to dinner,
You
You
come
fucking
to
come to
dinner.
dinner.
You know who I
Okay.
wish was here right now? Who could speak Spanish for us? Austin Smith.
Oh, that motherfucker, man! I ain't seen him in years.
He's in Iowa. He's trying to come back down here. We miss you, bud.
So
We miss you,
I
Austin.
had to go while these two guys were rambling on about God knows what. I had to go to the other room and see a man about a horse. And I have a looming suspicion that you probably heard enough about our complaints about rich kid rehab, parenting, minor aspects of discipline, and listening to what your abuela has to say.
Yeah, well, that's my fault.
I actually
but
have a
let's-
friend of
all right,
mine.
all right. So,
She
so
actually
we
got
hit,
a.
We hit rich kid rehab.
Yeah.
Let's go on to what was it? Tattoos.
Insects.
Well, I'll
Insects.
just say one thing. There's a friend of mine out there. Her name is Abra, Abbra.
like abracadabra.
Her last
What
name
up,
is
girl?
not Cadabra. And she just changed employment because she worked at a rich kid rehab center in Montana, and she abso-fucking-lutely could not stand it. So, Abra, if you're out there listening, please comment on our Facebook page and tell us your personal experiences, because some of the shit you've told me while I was in Afghanistan was hilarious.
Abracadabra, legs be open.
I'm
Trevor.
sure she appreciates that.
No, she
Trevor.
doesn't. I'm sorry.
Abra,
Abra, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but
He's not.
no, I am.
Wait, that's a guy?
Is it a dude?
I was saying, oh, I see what you did there.
Oh, that's gross.
She is a
don't wanna
ginger, though.
Oh.
But no, so on the drive home, we got home and we realized while we were going to make this thing, there's a lot of spiders in this area.
There absolutely are. I'm kind of one of those. I'm not paranoid, but at the same time, like I'm very energy conscious. I don't like to leave lights on inside or outside my home. I don't leave fans running.
He
if
doesn't
I'm not
like
in the
to
room.
have a big carbon footprint.
It's not. It has nothing to do with the carbon footprint. It's everything to do with my respect for power consumption and the amount of fucking money that I give the power company at the end of the month.
Fucking Ron Swanson over here.
I'll take that as a compliment.
Tommy! Tommy boy, I tell you, you are fucking horrible at online Scrabble. You're worse than my ex-wife, and she was a bitch.
And for those of you that don't know that reference, that's Ron Swanson. I've been
Parks and
accused,
Recreation.
I've been accused or lauded as being.
Or is it
similar-
lauded? Let's ask Laurie.
Yeah,
Let's ask Lowry. Yeah.
So we pull into the driveway. You know, everybody's sitting in the car. We've all had a couple of beers, but we had like a 45-minute drive home. You know, which for us is a long time. And so
An eternity.
We all get out of the truck, and we're like, oh my god, I gotta piss. I can't go outside. I've only got 2 bathrooms.
So we
There's
all-
3 of us.
Well,
Training
lean
the
up
lizard
against-
became priority numero uno.
We lean up against the tailgate and side panels of my 1992 Ford F-250 and pee on my tires.
And it was like a triple Dutch rudder.
Except we weren't actually doing that.
Please, let's not touch each other.
So
Ladies,
anyway, so
Ladies.
we all get done draining the lizards or whatever you call it nowadays.
urinating.
And yeah,
Or
taking-
Whatever the
Urine.
hipster
taking
kids
a
are
leak,
saying.
you know,
urinating.
pissing, whatever.
Pissing. Remember, kids.
Nothing gets a lady's hot between the legs like saying, "Yeah, and I was out front in my yard taking a piss."
Remember,
Yeah.
ladies, you don't take a piss, you leave a piss.
And
Harder.
Lick
oh,
my
that's
box.
so good.
Watch
Let me
out,
just
though. I just took a piss.
stuff my face with Pepperidge Farms.
Oh, Ted.
so
I want a teddy bear.
so Eric
and a lady.
turns around to walk into the house and immediately puts his face into a gigantic spider web.
And that's not an A, and that's not a.
I mean, this spider.
It's
was-
not a euphemism for anything sexual at all.
Yeah,
It is a
it's-
giant spider web.
And
It
it's,
is
so It's
huge.
what we call banana spiders. They take care of the insects. They're everywhere. They're in all corners of my house. They're in a couple of the windows. I don't mind
They
them.
reconnoiter this motherfucker's facade.
They absolutely they
That
stay
means
to
two
themselves. They don't try to get in the house. I have no problem with them. Now, I will caveat that by saying there are 3 things in life that I am absolutely terrified of. One of
Spiders
them
being
is
one.
spiders is number 1. I avoid those motherfuckers like the plague. Before we went out drinking tonight, I was opening up my back door to go outside and water the lawn or whatever.
Take a piss.
and there was a spider, and he wasn't building his web yet. He was just like dangling down in front of my back door, and I immediately shut the door, locked
Charlotte,
it,
where's
bolted
the
it,
pig?
and then went to the front door. And Trevor was like, "What are you doing, buddy? What was that?" I was like, "Nothing, and nothing happened. I didn't see nothing." And so
Nobody tells me nothing.
Well, hold on. Let me caveat this with another spider story.
Too many words.
There,
Caveat.
all right. Outside of Dustin's back door is
That
a
means
low-hanging wire.
ladies.
Ladies. Dustin's back door. But no, there's a
.com.
low-hanging wire outside the
Penn Island.
Yeah, the back door. Penn Island. There's a low-hanging wire outside of Dustin's back door that hangs above his deck, right? And there was a banana
Wait, what?
spider who had literally built his web from this low-hanging wire to the floor of his deck. Now that's a good 6 feet. It's
That's
taller than
Charlotte's Web.
No, it's huge. And this
it's
banana
not Charlotte's Web. It's goddamn
Charlie's-
Satan's web.
born of hellfire.
I am the god of hellfire. and I
Right.
bring you
Fire.
Yeah, but this banana spider was about the size of a silver $1.50. Like, he was fucking huge. Like,
What about the size of a rusty sheriff's badge?
whatever.
That
big-
means
like,
that means
so-
open butthole.
Anyways,
by the way.
And for those younger listeners that haven't seen a silver dollar ever in their lives,
Well,
it's about
you're-
the size of like a can lid.
If you've never seen a silver dollar, that means your parents are probably going to send you to rich kid rehab.
hold up a tuna can, banana spider. There we go.
It's
All right.
about that big.
About that big.
Ladies.
Anglo-Saxon chode. Anyways,
It may not touch bottom, but it will stretch out the edges.
right. Anyways, it's like the poor shocks on a fucking car. Anyways,
He beat the
but
brakes off
this,
of that with
this
his
spider
dick.
had built his web literally 6 feet tall and about maybe 5.5 feet wide.
That's a
and-
person.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was bigger than I was. But I took a can of Axe and a lighter and literally proceeded to burn this spider web down. And this
Jeff
spider,
Bridges style.
yeah, this spider started charging at me and like,
Is that an arachnophobia? reference?
Arachnophobia.
I-
reference. Hell
yeah.
yeah. John Goodman came in with his boot.
yeah. I was flipping out and I'm like, all right, let's bring this. And I proceeded to barbecue the shit out of that spider. Now, let me tell you, banana spiders, when they get burnt alive, is the craziest shit ever.
They
because
fight back.
They fight back. They do. They will charge you. They will get aggressive. And then once they start dying, they'll throw all 8 legs up in the air and they'll invert themselves. It's really weird. Like, it's really fucking scary.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
All right, we're done. All right. Banana spiders.
We'll talk about
Over.
booze. and
There,
milkshakes.
no, but
Fix
the
bikes,
last thing
over.
the last thing I will say is that I'm not one of those people. I don't just like go out and like kill things for fun. It didn't bring me any joy. I don't have bug traps and stuff all over my house. I appreciate the role of the spider in nature because they take care of mosquitoes and I don't have a problem with that. And like I saw some cockroaches outside and then summer and fall came around. Now fall. And the spiders are still out, and I have not had an insect problem inside my home in the 4 years that I've lived here, and it's been absolutely wonderful. I am deathly afraid of them, but we have kind of an agreement that they stay on the periphery.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yeah. They're like Nazi cockroaches.
Yeah, we don't act, Dustin doesn't have that problem. He doesn't have cockroaches that are marching in and out of his house like what Deanick references.
All right, we're not going to talk about where I live, but where I live, like, they will oppressively march through my room,
Those jackbooted cockroach thugs.
goose stepping their way
Goose
through my.
stepping their way through.
They're not afraid of you.
No,
Now,
they're not.
You can't do
Actually,
anything
like,
to them.
I yell at them, and it's like North Korea.
North Korea, best Korea.
Yeah.
Now, hey, I will tell you this. This is actually a real thing here. If any of you guys out there listening and you have a roach problem, use boric acid. It's completely harmless, as far as I know.
It's green, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our educational advice for the day.
Boric acid. What happens is, it has to be put in a powder form, because they do sell the little squares or blocks. But the thing is roaches don't actually go up and eat that. They don't find, they're not it doesn't appeal to them. But you figure out where roaches usually reside or travel along, the edges and places around the kitchen, or where there's food or other edible things in your house, and you put out some boric acid powder, and what happens is, one, roaches are like cats. They actually clean themselves. They will actually let off mucus out of their mandibles or mouths and put them onto their legs.
Can I stop this right
Put
now?
them onto their legs.
This is awful.
They'll put them on their legs.
Nobody
and-
wants to hear this.
And they will actually eat the boric acid.
Let me stop you while you're ahead. We got it. Boric acid. It's gross.
Hold on. And then the roaches will die. And then what's good about roaches is they're cannibalistic, so the other roaches will eat them. So if you have and then they'll die. So if you have roach problem, use boric acid.
None of this is making the final cut.
No.
Why?
Why not?
It's good to know. People have.
Nobody out here cares about this.
This is not like Better Homes and Gardens.
Look, I know you got a Bob
solving
Ross
roach
t-shirt
problems.
on, but come on.
This is making the fun.
What's the next? What's
no?
next?
Fuck you. This is making the fun.
You don't know how to use the software.
Insects.
We already talked
We just
about
talked about
insects.
incest.
Hey, so I made this wonderful thing when we got home because we spent a lot of money at the bar, and by a lot of money, I mean we spent probably between the 3 of us about $30. It got a little crazy.
Okay, well let's back up a second. When we say that between the three of us, $30, like that is an extremely light and conservative night. Dustin and I can personally attest to like tabs in our names individually in excess of $200, and that's
just the tip,
that's just the
Just
tip,
the tip,
ladies.
ladies. So us spending $30 at a bar is
It's really something to marvel
I
at.
actually gave Caitlin a 50% tip because she did something really awesome. She gave that mean Lori
you're a bitch.
because she had a very sour attitude.
It's gonna have to get bleeped out.
Well, whatever.
We don't want her to lose her job.
Well, Lori, thank you for so much for what you did. Like we got it. Like
Lori.
or not Lori. Sorry, Caitlin. Caitlin.
They're all the same.
No, they're not all the same.
They're not.
I'm sorry.
They're not all the same.
No, but Caitlin, what you did was awesome. Thank you very much. Like we greatly appreciate it, and our shout out to you this evening is
I think we've done about 50 of those.
yeah. Well, she was.
It was that good.
But she was super awesome. No, like she actually came outside and found me.
Wait
And was
a
like,
minute.
"This is your PBR, so your friend doesn't steal it." Like that shows me that she actually gave a shit. Like
I didn't steal it.
right? Eric did.
Oopsies.
So we get home from the bar, whatever. Yeah, Caitlin, she's awesome. Left good tip for her a couple of times, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah.
Didn't spend a lot of money, but we get home, we decided we haven't had enough to drink because we want to record another episode, and you can't do that without a little bit of liquid courage. So I came up with this wonderful beverage, and I'm sure those of you that are far more cultured than I am have had this many times.
And by far more cultured than he is, he means by far a worse alcoholic.
Yeah, well,
I
I'm
wouldn't
gonna
say worse alcoholic. I'd say more creative, experimental, and
experienced
innovative
drunk.
alcoholics.
So I came up with this drink the other day, or so I think, where I took, I made a pot of coffee because it's
been done.
It's like 8 o'clock at night, and I got nothing better going on. So I take a pot of coffee, I take a blender, I fill it up.
Great White Buffalo.
I fill it up about halfway with coffee, all the way with ice, and then a quarter of it is Bailey's
You like a Baileys?
because it's not wintertime, but I've got an excess
And this
of
one's
Bailey's.
called Baileys. Close enough.
And
where
then
the dry is
I
wet.
take the other quarter, and it's nothing but Kahlua. But I got fancy and I used French vanilla Kahlua. I blend it up, and I
Make
pour
a
it in a
hell
cup.
of a Caucasian, Jackie.
And he hands me a cup, and I'm like, "What you doing swimming in my lake, mother liquor?"
It's attached to your rod, mother liquor.
And,
What
and
about
I-
the boat times?
And I call it a booze milkshake.
Booze.
And I love them.
You got to say it kind of like a New York Jew. Booze milkshake.
It's a booze
It's a
milkshake. I'd
booze
like it with my
milkshake.
lox and bagels after a good moil.
Bagels. I've heard it both ways.
Johnny, what are you doing? Hey, I'm drinking a fucking booze milkshake, Ma. Leave me alone.
Grandma, what do you need from the store?
Get me one of those booze milkshakes and a carton of cigarettes. Here's $5.
Actually, speaking of Jewish grandmothers, it's like, how many Jewish grandmothers does it take to change a light bulb?
What the fuck is happening?
Oh, it
How many
doesn't
light
matter.
bulb jokes do you have?
Plenty. No, y'all just go on. I'll just stay here in the dark. It's fine. You just go out.
No, you go out. You have a good time with your friends. I'll just sit here in the dock. Don't worry about me.
I've got
No,
boric
I'm
acid.
Fine. I mean, I only took care of your mother for 30 years, and I've only
I
taken care of
bored
you
her
your
out of my
entire
vagina.
life.
Yeah, exactly.
You fucking schlep.
You're fucking going.
Go hang out with your goy motherfucking friend for all I care. I got boric acid all surrounded by me, so if the roaches try to eat me, they'll die.
Oh, no, it's fine. Your friends, they're Protestant. Okay, well, I guess they won't be coming to temple tomorrow.
At least they're not Baptist.
By the way,
Oh.
hey, we're making fun of religions. Anyone who's listening to this, happy Rosh Hashanah. Happy Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Ramadan's over.
I got a,
No,
I got a
thank
couple
God,
of,
because, ooh, man.
couple of Jewish friends that I added on here, and if you listen, I'm sorry.
No, seriously. Happy
I'm
Rosh
not.
Hashanah.
Yeah.
It's
As opposed to that like Muslim like fucking holiday that's coming up.
Ramadan.
Kaboom or whatever it's called.
Right. So, in some parts of the world, they call it Ramadan. Other parts of the world, they call it Kaboom.
Yeah. Kaboom.
So, anyway.
and we could say that. We've been there. For
So,
Home
I mean,
Depot.
that's I didn't really have a lot to add on the booze piece. You guys have all had a beer or two, I'm sure, in your day.
Yeah,
but
I've been
the most
drinking
important
legally.
thing was my recipe for the booze milkshake. I
Yeah.
strongly recommend it.
Don't add boric acid.
While you're listening to a fine podcast such as this, and hopefully nobody else's, because I thought we were exclusive.
And please put this on as like the background of like whatever it is you're doing during the day, because trust me, like as you're doing your daily chores or whatever you're doing,
This
during
is
the
gonna
day,
help.
This is really gonna add some like light to your life. Trust me, like you'll catch the little bits and pieces. You just be like, these
Yeah,
two or three guys are like, absolutely out of their minds.
It'll be like Magnum PI's, mustache. It'll be a flavor.
As opposed to
it's a flavor saver.
Because if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna have like CNN or Fox on in the background, I mean, you're just
And
gonna
all
get
you're gonna hear
depressed.
over and over again is
or it's
that
gonna ramp you up and get you all pissed.
yeah,
off.
all you're gonna hear is Syria. We're super serious about Syria and Syria. No,
And
no.
just hang out and have a good time, relax a little, blow
We
off a
get
little
it.
steam.
People die. They kill each other.
Laugh.
We're the only race species that kills each other because they're gonna agree on where we go and we die. We get it.
Thank you,
laugh
Ernest
laugh
Hemingway.
with us, laugh at
He's to
us.
die
We don't
for.
care as long as you're having a good time. That's
Yeah.
what matters.
Totally.
And so
YOLO.
speaking of having a good time, and one of the things that I personally enjoy, and I know Trevor, you enjoy it too, is pissing on an electric fence and getting burned at the same time. Also,
By the
known
way,
as
that's a
getting
Rocco.
tattoo.
That was a terrible experience when I was 5. I really don't like talking
Don't
about
piss
it.
on the electric fence.
Yeah, well,
It was the 4th of July.
I
They
didn't
just
want-
got a dog.
right, and I didn't want to be circumcised, but you know what? After you burn your foreskin like that, it's got.
Why are you talking like you New York Jew again?
Because it's funny.
It is funny.
Go get your grandmother some cigarettes.
I can't do that. I'm only
After
9.
after you're done getting your grandma some cigarettes, bring her
Grandma.
her nail clippers because she's gonna clip this little kid's foreskin.
Grandma, I can't do that. I can't get your cigarettes. I'm only 9.
No, it's fine. I'll write you a note.
Here's $5.
Just go down to the corner store. Tony knows me. Just tell
Wait,
him
wait, wait.
that.
Here you go. Here's $5. Get your grandmother some cigarettes. Grandma, cartons of Marlboros aren't only $5. How do you know that? You're only 9. I just told you I can't. Fuck. Never mind. Just give me the.
I love grandmothers. Like I said, my grandmother's militant Catholic. Like, literally, I think the only reason she's alive is because when she dies, God is like preparing for her arrival. Because she's like, listen, everybody, when she gets up here, shit's gonna change. Like,
God has been like redoing all the sleeping arrangements.
Yeah,
and,
like
buying air mattresses down at Costco.
he
and
is
just-
he is literally making some serious changes up there for when she shows up, because
he's got Bobby and the contractor team adding the mother-in-law suite.
But he's got to be
'cause,
thrifty because she's a New York Jew.
not only that, but
She's
she's not a New York Jew. She's
Catholic.
militant Catholic, but thrifty. I'm glad you brought up thrifty, because that's like some of my favorite memories with her, because we'd get sherbet ice cream like at Thrifty's.
Sherbet.
Sherbet.
Sherbet from
You
50s.
got your fucking Napoleon sherbet.
Hey, let me get some of this Napoleonic.
Jan Napolitano sherbet.
Napolitanic.
Anyways,
Catatonic.
Let's move on to tattoos, because that's what we were going to segue into. All right, so tattoos. Both me and Dustin have tattoos. He and I have one that is the same but different colors. It's Memento Mori, which is sort of like Carpe Diem in a sense, but it literally translates into what is it? Remember death or moment of death?
Remember your mortality.
Yeah, pretty much. And I mean, like
I'll probably end up getting it because it's pretty cool and there's brotherhood behind it.
Not only that, but I mean, it's sort of like man is transient. We got to live for the moment, and in our line of work, that's kind of like what it is that we're all about. It's
We're
like,
not saying YOLO. Fuck
no. Because like the whole YOLO thing is sort of like it's been like literally usurped by the younger crowd as it's a license to do stupid shit because you're gonna die anyways. Which that's not what it's about. It's about seizing the opportunities that life presents for you and living them to the fullest.
But also knowing your place in the world, because you are not the overseer of this planet, and it could swallow you whole.
It can, but you at least got to be cognizant of the fact that you have a certain amount of control of what your destiny is, and if you choose to make it a celebration of mediocrity, then that's on you.
And when you make adult decisions, there are adult consequences.
Right, and that comes with growing older, and that's something that I've personally had to come to terms with on like a very.
You
very
do have to
personal
make
basis.
sure though when you're getting a tattoo that you are absolutely sure what you're doing, because a lot of people nowadays, especially these hipster types, you look at them and you're like, wow, it's like
It says "fuck you" on your hand. Like that's gonna help you get a job.
Yeah.
Right. Or
I like to
or-
call it scrapbooking. You know, generational scrapbooking.
Not only that, but like there was somebody that I saw today, and I'm not going to name who this is or where I saw it, but they had Hood Rock tattooed on their lower bicep by their elbow, and I'm like, really,
They had
dude?
what?
It said Hood and Rock, and it was on each arm. Like one arm said Hood, the other one said Rock, and I was looking at this person, I'm like, really, like. Where do you find that applicable? Like, what was your motivation behind getting that? Like,
It actually means rock the hood, and he was looking in a mirror. Don't blame him.
Oh, okay. If that's the case, then by all means, because that makes total sense. No, but seriously, like, you know, the tattoos that I have, like one of them is on my rib cage, and that was my first one. It's sort of like my drunken like first tattoo. I wasn't really drunk when I got it, but you know, it was a spur of the moment thing, and I went and got it with a friend.
But it was the
And-
goddamn Chinese New Year.
Well, it wasn't the
Taiwan
Chinese.
on.
It wasn't the Chinese New Year, but
Ladies.
you know, one of my mentors who is a teacher, he has the Japanese kanji for teacher on his shoulder blade. I got the Japanese kanji for my job description on my rib cage.
It means
And-
turtle, actually.
No, I looked it up. Thank you very much. I'm not one of those sad people on fucking Google Images where, you know, like fucked up kanji tattoos where, like, you know, they ask for, you know, badass motherfucker, and they got like, you know, rapist. Like, I'm not.
Isn't that
I'm
the
not
same
one of
thing?
Yeah.
Ladies.
I'm not one of those sad people, ladies. I'm not one of those sad people.
Ladies.
But you know, like the other tattoos that I have is, you know, the Memento Mori thing, which is, you know, me and Dustin's tattoo, and then I also have Veni Vidi Vici, which is the Latin translation for, you know, I came, I saw, I conquered, which is sort of like, you know, the culmination of my you know, last 5.5, 6 years of, you know, what I've been doing.
Where did you come?
I came, I saw, I conquered between
Dad ass.
Yeah, dad ass. hey, yo, girl. Hey, yo, girl.
I actually don't have any tattoos yet, but a future job idea is that I go around, travel the world, and I write about the places I see. Nothing as badass as Anthony Bourdain, you know, no reservations, but
God rest his soul.
something
He's still
close.
alive.
He's still alive.
He's got a new show on CNN.
But he's dead to me.
Oh well, I want to go around and I want to write things that I observe around the world, you know, because I'm apparently an okay writer. But I figured if I get hard up on money,
Do you blog?
I could go. I don't. I could go around.
You need to.
You should.
I could go around and I could write what I see, and to make a little bit of income,
You should vlog.
I can make some income by getting a
On
tattoo.
Vine, 7 seconds at a time.
Getting a tattoo in an area from a well-renowned tattoo artist in that region of something significant in that area.
Please
and
start
then-
in Africa so you can tell me about what HIV looks like.
Hey, it's not a death sentence anymore.
Well, it
y'all.
was put into my
Right.
arm,
As long as you have $100,000 to inject right
into
in
my
your-
body.
in
Yeah,
your vein.
Magic
Magic
Johnson.
Johnson.
Thank you.
He owns TGI Fridays apparently. But no, what I'll do is I'll get a tattoo in that area,
Really?
and then I will write a review.
As opposed to Herman Cain, who owns Godfather's Pizza.
Yeah, you know, I'm a way bigger pizza fan. I ain't seen a TGA Fridays in probably 5-10 years.
Yeah.
And I'll write a review of this tattoo and maybe submit it to a tattoo magazine, and they'll give me some kind of commission. Yeah, it was just an idea because I don't have any tattoos, and
Go to New Zealand and get a tattoo from them, like a traditional Maori tattoo.
or
Let
like
me-
a
let-
sheep.
Yeah, let me know how they feel about tattooing a ginger.
No, yeah, what I want to do, what I want to do is I want to go to New Zealand and get a full room picture tattooed on my arm of the Gay Marriage Act that was voted, because apparently a lot of funny shit happened during that.
Oh yeah, it was like a 20-man stand-up routine.
They were cackling at each other. If you have never seen this, YouTube the New Zealand voting on their parliament of the, which I'm totally cool with gay marriage, because fuck you, it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what it was like. Jim Jeffries said, you know, if you're
Australian,
not for gay marriage, don't marry a gay.
Marry a gay.
Yeah, end of
Whatever.
story for me.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
you
that
know,
about sums it up.
whatever. Love is love. I don't want to sound like a hippie here, but you know, let's go play disc golf. You know, love is love. But
Hey, bro, you can't throw trash in my disc golf goal.
hey, man, you should watch the YouTube of
You can't smoke in this park.
New Zealand. New Zealand gay marriage. But seriously, man, like tattoos. So if you guys have any good suggestions for me or tattoo artists in your area, let me know.
Don't ask for people's suggestions of tattoos, because I asked my sister for suggestions on tattoos. She's
Not-
like, get a nugget of poo tattooed on
No,
you.
not
I'm
an
like,
actual.
Why? Because
not
that's
an
my
actual,
nickname for you.
No, not an actual tattoo like design, but suggestions to good tattoo artists
Oh, okay.
in your area.
Well, I can tell you right off the bat, like Texas is a good place to go, especially in Dallas. My friend Nicole, shout out to Nicole. She knows some really good tattoo artists in Dallas, especially like in the Deep Ellum area. Like, you know, that, but I mean, they're out there.
When Dustin and I go to Austin, Texas here in a few weeks, I might actually go get one there.
There are no shortage of tattoo parlors in Austin, Texas.
No, there's not.
So as someone out there in Austin, Texas, if you're listening to this, let us know who is a well-renowned artist out there.
Yeah.
But hey, it's getting a little late. This booze milkshake's getting a little bit melty and bullshitty. So what are we at here? How much time we got left?
We're at about an hour and 20 minutes.
Hey, so we're going to
Sounds
get out
good.
of here, man. This was episode 2.
Episode 2. Hey, you know, thanks again for listening. Make sure you like us on the Facebook page, facebook.com/thenameisattheend. Like I said, you know, fucking 6 hours ago, we'll have the website up sometime this week. You know, if you have any questions, comments, or, you know, personal stories about anything that we talked about, we'd absolutely love to see them, and we'd love to read them. And, you know, if you got any special things that you would like us to talk about, by all means, you know, drop us a line, either on the Facebook page or email us at thenameisattheend@gmail.com. It's all one word, no capitalizations or anything like that. And
At some point, we're going to try to live stream this, but that's in the works. So we'll actually be able to maybe have someone call and we can have some one-on-one or one-on-3.
And if you
ladies.
personally know us, just feel free to, like, you know, approach
Yeah,
us, like,
totally.
generally. Like,
Yeah,
you know, a lot of friends, like, you know, just
we could involve you in this, you know, we got microphones.
This isn't some sort of, you know, esoteric thing where we all sit around and nobody else can be involved. We're absolutely welcome to.
no. We
you
are
know,
down
if
to
you want
earth.
to come over to the house and, you know, you want to sit down and talk with us,
Have some
or-
booze milkshakes.
or go out and do something. You know,
Yeah,
we can
go
record
outside
it
and kill
mobile.
the banana spiders.
Yeah, we're absolutely fine with that. But hey, you guys have a good night, okay?
I'm gonna pop some tags. Only got $20 in my pocket. I'm hunting, looking for a come up. This is fucking awesome.